Alright, let me try an update on this rough week in the Big Brother Canada 10 house. In my last video, I was talking about how Kyle was seemingly trying to come up with reasons to put up Herman, but that didn't work out because Herman is playing the best game in the house. He's the most well-rounded player in the house, and if Fan Guy is listening to this, I will give him credit for the draft still, even though we're not doing rankings, because I can't watch this shit all the time enough to do rankings. So Herman talked Kyle down, so Kyle decided to instead put up his friend outside of the house, well, at least not friend, but acquaintance outside of the house, Moose, up on the block next to Stephanie. So those were his two original noms, going against the person he knows outside of the house, which I still say is very stupid to, similar to Todrick, fumble your relationship outside of the house this early in a game. Makes no sense. But then Moose won the power of veto, so Moose will be coming off of the block, so Kyle will have to make a renom. And so, as you probably realize by now, it's probably not going to be the target for Kyle this week is not going to be a white player. That is for certain. But I need to circle back to Marty, because I started talking about this during Marty's HOH, because Marty was the one to try to set the groundwork for some sort of all-white alliance that he was trying to do. I feel like he is the main one still trying to push this, and Kyle was the one that took the bait, but all of the white players are not all on the same page, so Marty and Kyle continuing to try and push that narrative is just dumb for their games, first of all. But also, if you really take a look at how problematic this week has already been, Kyle is putting up players on the block that he has been in alliances with. He put up Stephanie, who he's in the singles alliance with now, and then he put up Moose, who's supposed to be in the Savage 7, and then he was trying to turn the Savage 7 into a Savage 6, or to bring in Marty in Moose's place. But now Marty has somehow talked Kyle into, well, if you can't get Moose, why just put up Betty, because Betty's not a threat. Marty's been pushing very hard to put up Josh on the block. And on one hand, Josh is probably a big threat if he makes it far in this game. But if Kyle does this, he would once again be putting up somebody who is in his alliance. And thus, this is why Kyle's HOH has made zero sense and has come off so problematic, because he's making nominations. Basically, all of his targets happen to be black, but they're also in an alliance with him, so it doesn't make any kind of sense other than, some racism. But Marty is the possibly main one pushing for this, and Kyle seems to be listening to maybe put up Josh on the block and once again blow up the Savage 7 alliance, which, a big alliance getting blown up is always fun, at least. So that's the one okay thing from this week, I guess. But Kyle doesn't have the numbers, and Marty doesn't have the numbers to put up Josh and vote him out right now, because more bad shit happened this week from Kyle's HOH, where last night Kyle had a guy's night in his HOH and invited everyone except Kevin for whatever reason. So that was already a red flag, and that annoyed the women. And Kevin made a damn good job of making the women feel sorry for him. If Kevin can do one thing in this game, it is play the victim and play low on the totem pole. He does a hella good job on that. And Kevin is also close to Helena, and there was also this, kind of outsider alliance to what was seeming to be the more popular people and the white guys. Kevin and Helena are involved with that alliance, as well as Summer and Tanisha and Josh. So it would already be a hard time getting Betty out. If it comes Betty versus Stephanie, Stephanie's likely going home. But it's probably even worse if Kyle decides to put up Josh, and then Josh still stays because, Kyle and Marty and all of their segregating the house, they've done one thing. They've done the thing that they, I guess, allegedly didn't want to happen, bringing the black players closer together. They've done all the speculation this past week that maybe the other side, in quotation marks, are the black players, but that was not the case, as I've stated in past videos. But now, since Kyle has had such a terrible HOH, and some people have figured out how ridiculous he is, the black players have gotten close. But the white players are not on the same page, so Marty and Kyle trying to start this race war, just looking dumb right now. And Kyle's HOH continues to be certainly the worst HOH reign in Big Brother Canada history. It's definitely up there with some bad American Big Brother HOHs for sure. So we'll see what Kyle does. He tried to get Helena to say that Helena would vote his way if he put up a bigger target than Betty, but he wouldn't tell Helena who that bigger target is, but he did tell Kevin, and Kevin told Helena that they can't vote Josh out because then the other side that they think is the other side, which is basically Kyle, Marty, Gino, JC, Stephanie, and Herman. That's what they think the main alliance is. So they would want to keep Josh. So I think Josh would have the numbers to stay if it is Josh versus Stephanie. If it's Betty versus Stephanie, maybe it's a little closer, but I don't see Stephanie staying in that scenario either. I do need to talk more about Gino, because the last video I was giving him probably too much credit. Gino's just kind of dumb and way too go with the flow these past few days. He just seems to be there to coast to the end with a showmance. It's crazy that Gino is not a bigger target. The fact that he could just coast with a showmance right now, he should be a bigger target than he is. So on one hand, he's still playing a good game, but on the other hand, he still remains dumb, in my opinion, and borderline meek. Alright, that sums up the last 2 days in the BBCAN house. We'll see what Kyle's next bad decision is, and how Marty can try to influence it and kind of hurt both of their social games in the at the same time, because Marty's finally getting called out on some shit because Herman ratted Marty out. When all the guys were in a room minus Kevin, Marty brought up some of the stuff that Summer and Tanisha told him. Also, Summer doesn't like how Marty always questions Summer about her being close to the other black women in the house, because Marty is so fixated on this fucking race war.